Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're going to be breaking down the new boarding patrols. We're also going to do a comparison to the other boarding patrols, as well as the corresponding combat patrols as well. So we got a lot to look at, so let's get into it. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so we see boarding patrols inbound for Genestealer Cults, Death Guard, Chaos Demons, and the Adeptus Mechanicus. So we're going to go ahead and skip through all of that. We can see them here, but we're just going to look at the actual breakdown. So Adeptus Mechanicus. The Adeptus Mechanicus bring a flexible force of 10 Skitarii, who can be built as Rangers or Vanguard, backed up by 3 hulking Kataphrons, which can be built as Destroyers or appropriately named Breachers. Scouting ahead are 5 Sicarians, who can be built as Ruststalkers or Infiltrators, all led by Tech Priest Dominus with a variety of arcane war gear options and a thirst for Voidborn relics. So one really nice thing about the boarding patrol Adeptus Mechanicus right off the bat is that basically everything in this set, with the exception of the character, can be built as an alternative kit. So that is always a good thing. So we see the Dominus is $38, the actual Skitarii are $50, the Kataphron are $60, and the Sicarians are $50. So we have a total of $203 in value for this set. And as of right now, we don't actually know what the price is going to be on these. Not to mention, Games Workshop has an upcoming price increase. So any calculations we would do, probably going to be wrong anyway. So it is hard to speculate. They have announced everything's going to be going up by 6%. Last time they said 6%, everything went up by about 12%. So if we just assume that this is $203 in value, and we'll say that it's going to go up by 10%, we'll say it's roughly about $223 in value. Games Workshop typically offers about a 30 to 35% discount. So if we just say like a 33% discount on like roughly $220, we get somewhere around like $70. So if we're going to save $70 off a $220 set, it looks like this is going to come in around $150, which is essentially what the combat patrols are at right now. So now if we just take a quick look at the combat patrol, that is currently priced at $150. And again, if it goes up by 6%, it would go to $160. If it goes up by like 10% roughly, it would go to $165. But regardless, that has 1 Engine Seer, which is $35, 10 Skitarii for $50, 3 Kataphrons for $60, and a Doomcrawler for $80, and that comes out to $225. So essentially, that set compared to this set at current prices, there's about a $22 difference. The Combat Patrol has a little more in it. So the AdMech Boarding Patrol box and the AdMech Combat Patrol box are really close in value, and they have a lot of the same units as well. Both have the Skitarii, both have the Kataphrons, and then it's the difference between a couple other units. Chaos Demons have, appropriately given the arrival of Angron, manifested as a huge huffing and slavering crash of Khornate nightmares. 10 Bloodletters, 10 Flesh Hounds are led by Khorne's favorite hunter, Karanak, the Hound of Vengeance. In this cramped confines of Space Hulk, these frenzied killers will close the distance between enemy guns with warp flush speed and savagery. So if we look at the breakdown on this box, Karanak is $38, the Bloodletters are $38, and then each unit of 5 Flesh Hounds is $55, so that comes out to $186. So then if we jump over and take a look at the Combat Patrol is currently priced at $150. It includes 1 Herald of Khorne, which is $32. It includes 2 squads of Bloodletters for $38 each, 2 squads of 5 Flesh Hounds for $55 each, and then half of a unit of Blood Crushers, which would be the equivalent of $55. So actually, the Combat Patrol comes out to $273, and it costs $150. So it's almost 50% savings, which is massive compared to what you would normally get. So that being said, if we have $186 in one box and $273 in the other box, so if this Demons box is priced anywhere near the other boarding patrols, it is going to be an auto pass, and you're just exponentially better off picking up the Combat Patrol. Obviously, we won't know the prices quite yet, but this one is a definite pass, and just go with the Combat Patrol. And next we have Genestealer Cult. This boarding patrol contains 17 models in total. 1 gunslinging Kelermorph inspires a team of 10 Acolyte hybrids, who can also be built as hybrid metamorphs, while the hulking Abominant is joined by a little mindworm familiar friend, and 5 nearly as hulking Aberrants. Alright, so we have the Kelermorph right off the bat is $32. We have 2 squads of 5 Acolytes, $42 each, one Abominant character, and his little buddies built on his base with him. That is $32, and then the Aberrants are $42. So we get a total of $190, which is right in line with most of the other boarding patrols. And if we compare that to the Combat Patrol Genestealer Cult, which is currently $150, we see one Magus, one Goliath Rock Grinder, we see the Aberrants, one squad of the Hybrids, and then 2 squads of 10 Neophytes. And if we add that all up, 32, 60, 42, 42, 50, 50, that comes out to $276. And again, priced at $150, that's almost a 50% discount over retail. So if this boarding patrol is going to come in anywhere near that price point, the obvious choice is the Combat Patrol. All right, and then last of the 4 newly announced boarding patrols, we have the Death Guard. Finally, the Death Guard heed Abaddon's call with the Abjurat of Slimy boarding patrol led by the Lord of Virulence. He's joined by a bodyguard of 3 Deathshroud Terminators as well as 10 versatile Plague Marines, 3 of which are taken from the much sought after Plague Marine reinforcement set. So I just want to start off by saying first and foremost that no human being ever on Earth in all of time has said that the Plague Marine reinforcement set is much sought after. It's literally available in the store right now, and it's a complete ripoff. That being said, the Lord V is $38, the Deathshroud Terminators are $60, the Plague Marines are $55, and the reinforcements are $42. So the Plague Marine set that is $55 includes 7 Plague Marines, and then the reinforcement set that is $42 includes easy to build 3 Plague Marines. So it is substantially worse and almost the same price. So that being said, if we add that all up, it comes out to $195. If we go over to the Combat Patrol for the Death Guard, you get Typhus, which is $42, the Biologus Putrefier, which is $32, the Plague Marines, which are $55, and then 3 units of 10 Poxwalkers, which are $35 each. And that comes out to $234 total. There's not a lot of overlap between these sets, so it's a little difficult to prepare, but I think overall composition-wise, this isn't bad, with the exception of those reinforced Plague Marines. I would have much rather seen them just put another $13 in value and just give you 2 units of Plague Marines. So of our 4 boarding patrols here, we have $203 in the AdMech box, $186 in the Demon box, $190 in the Genestealer's box, and a really, really grimy, grungy $195 in the Death Guard box. So now let's compare them to the other boxes we've seen, and can we actually speculate on the price or what? So here we have the 3 that were announced in the second wave, the Necrons, the Tyranids, and the Grey Knights. All right, so right off the bat, for the Necrons, it's $220 in value for that set. The Tyranid set, which is $197. And then the Grey Knight set, which is only $165. We see that we now have essentially a bunch of boxes around that like 180 to 200 mark, one at 220, and then one substantially less at 165. So let's go all the way back to the first announced boarding patrol box. All right, so here we have the very first 2 announced boarding patrol boxes, and you may have noticed by now that one of them came out and the other one is lost in the warp. So here's our Space Marine box set, and this is a Captain, Assault Intercessors, and Heavy Intercessors, and this comes out to $163, and this is the only one that's actually out that we have an official price on. So that is $110 official price on this one. And the only box that is even relatively close in value is the Grey Knights box, which came in at that $160. And then if we take a look at the missing Chaos box, we have Abaddon, the Legionaries, and then 2 units of the Cultists for a total of $220. So we see this one is right in line with the Necron box at $220. So realistically, if we know the Space Marine box came out at $110, we know that the Chaos box is not going to come out at $110 as well. And more likely than not, none of these boarding patrols are going to come out before the upcoming price rise. So I fully expect them all to come out at the new prices if they come out in advance, or to get price increases slightly afterwards, but I think that's much less likely. So now that we've looked at the 9 boxes announced so far, it's pretty clear that we have 3 different price points. The first is that $165 price point for the Grey Knights and Space Marines. The second is around the $200 price point. And then we have 5 boxes right around that $200 price point. the Admech, the Demons, the Genestealer Cult, the Death Guard, and the Tyranids. And then finally we have 2 at that $220 price point, which is the Necrons and the Chaos Space Marines. So in my opinion, more likely than not, at least in the USA, I think we're going to get completely different prices on these boarding patrol boxes. So everything I said previously about being really excited that they were moving back towards that $100 price point was pre them announcing the price increases, and that was only having seen the Space Marine box. So I think more likely than not, these are actually just going to be priced very close to where the Combat Patrol boxes are. So the current Combat Patrol boxes are priced all at $150 in the United States. So if that's going to go up by 6% like Games Workshop claims, that would be a $9 increase. So those boxes would go up to $159. Now we all know that's not going to happen. They're going to go up at least to $160. Or if I'm correct with my speculation and Games Workshop's actually going to raise their prices closer to 10 or 12%, that would put the Combat Patrol boxes from $150 up to around $165, which seems much more realistic. And then they could bring in a lot of these boarding patrol boxes closer to like the $125 to $150 range. But again, I do think there's going to be some variance between these. And now a quick message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by CMOGames.com, where you can get 15% off most Games Workshop pre-orders, and they go live right at midnight Saturday mornings. CMOGames.com offers free shipping on orders over $25 in the US 48, and most orders ship within 24 hours. CMOGames.com has been selling Games Workshop products online for more than 20 years, and customer service is their top priority. CMOGames.com carries the full line of Games Workshop products, including 40k, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, Warcry, paints, hobbies, and tools. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description below so they know you heard about CMOGames.com from Warhammer Man Studios. Now, back to the video. Specifically looking at the Chaos Demons box set or Genestealer Cult, the obvious choice is to just go with the Combat Patrol, and honestly, that's the case for most of these boxes. So that's our breakdown for today. Just wanted to kind of put all of that content in one area for quick reference, and then just be able to kind of look at the corresponding Combat Patrols and see if these boarding patrols are actually a good deal or not. Now, we don't know what the pricing is going to look like. There are some cool little changes between them. I like to see these big boxes, the more the merrier, with lots of savings. So in my opinion, always having options is good. We're not sure if these are going to stick around in the range or be something temporary. I like to think that these are going to be a new thing in addition to the Combat Patrols, but the truth is most of them are very similar. So that's it for today's video. Let me know if you found this breakdown useful, which of the boarding patrols you're super excited about or going to be picking up. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. If you want to get any of these, check them out to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.